Right, I'm going to go through some mods you can do on the HD600, HD650, HD580. They're all very similar. First of all, sorry about the sound. I left my microphone in work, so we're just running off the mic in the camera. So the first mod, nice and easy. A lot of people like to remove the little foam insert that's in there. That basically lets the driver move a little bit more freely and kind of makes them a little brighter, a little faster on the bass and stuff. So that's easily reversible, easy to do. The pads, as you saw, you just pop your finger in, pop them out, and again, to get them back in, you just press. That's pretty straightforward. A slightly more advanced way to do it would be to remove the foam from the back of the driver, which I'm going to do now because I've got to do some other mods and it'll all kind of tie in with that. But I would warn you that removing the foam from the back of the driver is very difficult to reverse. You need to you can't reuse the same foam, you need to bodge something together. So only do that if you've tried the first one, you really like the sound, then do that. Opens up a little bit more. Right, so to get these open, what you need to do is push up on this. Oh, first of all, remove the cable, obviously. Otherwise that'll lock it all together. But push up on this section, so you need to separate these two. So I'm just going to pop that up, and that will pop the top there, this cover off. So that's there, and then you can just manoeuvre this back into place. You don't need to remove that bit. It just helps leave it open. Alright, so underneath you're going to see what people call the spider cage, which is a little bit of plastic there holding this foam disc in the centre. If you've got some HD650s, it will have two foam discs stacked on top of each other usually. But that's the same on the 580 as well, you've got a disc in there. What I'm doing is I'm just using some very small needle nose pliers to just go either side of those plastic extrusions there and just push upwards. And that's going to get the foam out from underneath that thing without tearing it. So I'm just pushing upwards towards the centre. You're revealing the magnet underneath. Okay, so we're nearly there, all the way around. Okay, and then we're going to grab that and remove it. So that's out. And doing that again will brighten them up. Another thing people like to do is maybe stick a bit of damping material around on the frame of the thing, especially on these flatter areas, which seems to absorb some of the resonance in there. Not massively noticeable, but yeah, it's a very cheap and easy thing to do. And next we're going to install this little jobby here, this device. It's something that we've designed, and it's basically a weight made from copper, which is shaped in a way that will kind of smooth the airflow a little bit in and out. And that just fits over the spider cage like that. And you press it quite firmly into place. Yeah, so that's on there, good and proper. Try and press it all the way down to the bottom. So it's kind of applying some pressure all the way around. Okay, that's in place now. So the idea behind this was basically to add a bit more mass behind the driver, so it's got something to push against. So it will kind of help with the lower frequencies, making them more accurate, because more of the energy is going to actually moving the driver rather than flexing the case. And also we experimented with quite a lot of different profiles on this, so we tried, like step baffles and all kinds of different shapes in there, and this is what we came up with for the best balanced sound. If you go a bit bigger, you get more bass, you get more sub bass, but it was a little bit overpowering. This basically just gives you a bit more bass and a bit more sub bass, but mainly just quite a lot more accuracy. And then what we do with the kit, we're also supplying 4 or 5 different foam inserts with slightly different properties, which will allow you to tune the sound. So you just pop your chosen one of those down the hole. Ooh, hang on, I haven't got that straight. Yeah, these are slightly conical shaped, so they have a thin end and a fat end. Yeah, so it's fat end out. You just pop that in there, and basically the denser the foam that's in there, the more bass reduction you get. So as I said, with this thing in, you're going to get a bump in the bass, especially around sort of 80 to 100 hertz. You get quite a big bump, but then you also get some down in the sub bass. And then to bring that back down in line, if it's more bass than you want, you got 4 or 5 of these, and you can have it. We've got one that is basically pretty much identical bass levels, but with more accuracy. We've got 2 with more bass and 2 with a bit less bass. So you've got 5 different options there. So once you've done that, what I would do is have these open. That way you can easily pull these in and out while you're testing to find your kind of optimum sound signature. And then once you've found the insert that you want, then you replace the grill, and that is just as simple as pressing it back into place there. And you can see you've got just enough clearance to kind of get it all in there, and it should stop the foam insert from coming out. It should just be touching the edge of that with most of the inserts. So that's that. Another thing that people like to do with the HD600 and 580 is potentially replace the headband padding. You'll notice with the HD650 padding, it's a slightly different design with a bigger gap in the center here, because there's actually like a little a ridge over the top of your head which is more sensitive. So over time, having a gap over that, it does genuinely make it more comfortable. It's like a long-term listening thing. So you don't notice it straight away, but you just notice, yeah, after long listening periods. To do that, at either end of the head pad, there are these little plastic caps, and you want to insert something like a butter knife or something, but I don't have anything to hand, so I'm just going to lever it up with these pliers. There we go, so that unclips out of there, and then you slide out the pad. And then I think the HD650 pad is about £7. Slide that in, you get a nice little upgrade in the comfort levels. Doesn't affect the sound, but you know, while you're at it for another £7, you might as well. What else? Oh yeah, obviously changing the pads will affect the sound a little bit. There's various pad manufacturers out there that will make different pads, I think. Like Custom Cans, we have the original pads and we have the Yaxi HD600 pads, but there are lots of different ones out there. See, I'm just making this look a lot harder than it should be to get the other one in. There's some little grooves in there. They're quite fine, and then when you put it in, it's going to get caught on the headband thing. So I'm just going to feed that round, lift that up over this little clip. What's in there? Yeah, I totally should have got the right tools for this. Let's see if I've got a scalpel or something. Oh, that's a much better poking device. So I'm just going to lift that up over there. We go. That's in there, and then you just replace your clip. There we go. So that's how you replace the headband. You've seen how you replace the pads. I think that's about all the mods. So yeah, that I can think of. Removing the front damping, removing the back damping, adding a bit of weight, potentially adding some damping material in here. At the moment our kit includes the weight and some inserts, but we could include some damping material. I'm sure if you email us we can send you some damping material if you want to play with that, but we haven't really experimented with that as much, just because the effect is very subtle, and yes. So as well as sounding a little better, I think it just looks a little bit sexy with the copper. Over time that's going to get a little bit of a patina because we haven't sealed them. You know, it's just about the sound, but I quite like the look as well. It turns, you know, sometimes when something's right, it looks right. It's a beautiful thing. Right, if you've got any questions or you want to see us modding anything else, just let us know. We can probably shoot some more videos. Alright, so yeah, if you want to see us modding anything else, just ask, and if we've got the funds, we'll give it a go. Alright, cheers. Loving your work. Bye.